Yes.
Yeah.
But like the comparison, like with me and some of the other guys.
So that'd be something neat to see, the Harris Centers.
The Pirates playing in Williams.
Welcome back for the third period. We have an interesting topic here. We actually just finished watching the video right before we did the third period, just to kind of get a refresher on what happened. Crazy baseball bench clear.
So, 38 years ago last Friday, I'm going to say probably the greatest bench clearing brawl in MLB history happened.
Yeah, I was laughing.
It's literally one of my favorite bench clearing brawls. You had done a bench clearing brawl topic with Jonathan when I was on vacation last September. So I wasn't part of that discussion, and we had talked about doing a part 2. And I'm like, well, David, you got to see this one. And you're like, you know what? We're just going to talk about that one.
Yeah, no, because, I mean, we've already talked about the one that I had up just because of how epic that was the Flyers Ottawa of 2004. But this one just really takes the cake of that. And
so
it was insane.
So the fight, or the events of the fight started in the prior game. And then Pascal Perez threw at Alan Wiggins of the Padres because Wiggins had bunted twice for hits the day before, and the Braves took offense to it. And then the Padres were continually, every time Perez came up to bat, the Padres were throwing at him, and he was doing everything he could to not get thrown at. Finally, he got thrown at, and they hit him, and the benches cleared, and it just became a domino effect throughout the rest of the game.
Domino effect's right on that one, because watching the video, it was warnings given, and then the pitcher and the manager got tossed.
A pitcher and a manager were tossed before the benches even cleared.
Actually, I think 2 pitchers and managers were tossed before the benches even cleared. I think it said total like 2 or 3 were gone before that even happens.
Padres managers, for the record.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it was just mayhem. Yeah. Even the umps were trying to pull people off and having a hard time.
Which I think the big ump might have been a young Joe West. If you look at Joe West's build and you look at that guy's build, I think it was a young Joe West. I'm going out on a limb and I'm saying I think it's a young Joe West.
That'd be funny if it was. That would be funny.
So really funny, not funny, haha, funny, ironic. There was a player in that game and in the brawl who is from the central Pennsylvania area.
Who's that?
Gene Garber.
Oh, hey, ties to Central.
He was a pitcher for the Braves at that moment in time. So some background on him. He was a pitcher for the Pirates, the Kansas City Royals, the Phils, the Braves, and then wrapped his career up again as a Royal.
Oh. Hey.
From 69 to 88. Not a bad career for a pitcher.
No.
I mean, the video, and there's a 21-minute clip of the brawls, the combined brawls from this game, because there isn't just one bench clearing brawl. There's multiple bench clearing brawls. There's brawls where the fans are jumping out over the barricade to get to the Padres players. It's crazy. But I think the highlight of the fight, and if you watch the John Boy video, they do an amazing job editing it to focus.
Oh, it's hilarious. If you can just look it up, you will not be sorry. You will laugh. And the fact that there were 3 separate brawls going on at one point, And then the one guy, I forget who was it that tried to go after the one batter that already went into the dugout.
So
I'm drawing a
it
blank
was
on that now.
So Ed Whitson was a pitcher for San Diego, and he was shirtless, all crazy, bug-eyed like Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair. To give you the idea of how crazed he looked, shirtless with a bat in the dugout, yelling at fans, trying to fight fans.
Fight fans with a bat, mind you.
He was being held back by 3 different members of the team. I mean, he stole the show in this fight. And he wasn't even fighting anyone at that moment. He just looked so crazed.
Like, a flip a switch, he's gone. And the look on his eye, you're right, just the look on his face, just as he's looking around. And it's funny is when they slow-mode his face, just looking around. It's like,
looking around behind Goose Gossage, where Goose Gossage looks like mellow and calm, and
it's almost like those horror movies where the serial killer's right behind the guy who's like do 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 do. That's basically what it looked
like. There's a lot of stars in this fight. To put it,
Joe Torre's in it
easily. Champ Summers from the Padres is one. He's also in the dugout with Whitson when he's going after fans with the bat.
What was it? 4 arrests, I think they said.
4 or 5 fans were arrested. 5 fans were arrested. 14 players were ejected. 4 managers were ejected, and apparently some coaches were ejected, but I don't have the number on coaches that were ejected.
And the fact that they had to clear the benches for the game to go on. They had to clear the benches out of the stadium.
With 3 outs left in the game, they had to send both teams' players into the clubhouse. And if someone had to come out and bat, they had to come out to bat from the clubhouse to the field. That's how violent and intense this brawl was at that time.
How insane does a fight have to be to get that far? That they had to clear the dugout to where they were not even allowed in the dugout just for the game to move on. I
love it. It's so freaking crazy. I love it. What was I can't think of his name now. The Braves player who was in the press box because he was injured. He had a broken hand. Bob Horner.
Yes. And you can see in the video he had a cast on.
Yeah, he had a cast on. God, I think Champ Summers needs to be thankful, even to this day, if he's still alive, that Bob Horner did not club him with that cast. Because he came from the press box, got in his uniform, and came out to partake in the fight.
And he knew what was going to happen. Because that's what they say. He knew what was going to happen.
So
when he came down, Champ Summers did pass in 2012.
R.I.P. Champ Summers.
John Jr. Summers, Champ Summers.
Champ Summers is a freaking great name for a baseball player. That is a fantastic name for a baseball player. So the reason I think this is the greatest baseball bench clearing brawl, and I'm sure if Brad or Brig, and I'm going to just assume Jonathan's going to disagree anyway. I think this is the best bench clearing brawl for one reason. People actually fought. A lot of baseball brawls aren't much of anything. It's more guys stopping each other from fighting. It's guys. It's basically
intimidation.
Oh yeah, intimidation. A big argument. Very rarely do punches get thrown. This is violent.
This was bad.
When I know there was a really bad one this year between Was it the Mariners and the Angels?
Trying to remember here.
Yep, Angels and Mariners.
Yep.
There was a really bad brawl this year between the Angels and Mariners. And as far as baseball brawls go, it's a bad brawl. But I don't even think that holds a candle to this one.
I don't think any baseball in the modern era that had bench clearing brawls can relate to this.
No.
It can't. Just because of how bad this was. When the fans get involved.
Exactly. The fans.
To a point to where they're being arrested. That says a lot. When they have to, by the end of it, make you come out of the clubhouse just to bat.
Go bat.
Is bad. When it gets to that point, it's bad. I don't think we will ever see it get that bad ever again. Just because
it's a different game now.
Exactly. Where back then, like you said, punches were thrown pretty a lot.
Guys were getting tackled, punches were the one dude came out just swinging at people. I think he even hit one of his own teammates.
He did. From the video, it looked like he did hit his own teammate. He pushed him down and hit him, and then just started swinging, hoping to hit somebody, I guess.
Man, I mean, I highly recommend the John Boy one. Adds a lot of humor to a really violent brawl, and it's like 8 minutes long. If you are feeling really brave, pardon the pun, MLB has a 21-minute video that compiles the full fights into just one digestible video. That's worth it to go out to.
That video,
it is something else.
You got to watch the John Boy version if you want humor with it, because he definitely adds some humor to it.
Ed Whitson, he steals the show, let me tell you. Slamming on the dugout roof, yelling at fans with a bat in his hand. I wouldn't have messed with him.
Nope.
I'd have just left him go. I wouldn't have gotten near him if he was on my team.
Well, the funny part is when the one fan ran out and he was being tackled by the player. Exactly, yelling at him to get. Do you see the one guy pointing like to get out, get off the field?
The team he's there to cheer tackled him and was trying to get him kicked out.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You see those idiots running across the field now and then, but not for fights, just being an idiot. But when you have multiple arrests for people trying,
3 fans alone leaped over the barricade to attack Champ Summers.
One threw something on him.
A soda or a beer.
Whatever,
one
Who knows
leapt
what
on to Bob Moore.
I forget.
On his name.
He just head grabbed them. The one fan just literally just grabbed his head.
One fan got snuck in, got a few shots on Champ, and then just ran out. It was
bad. It was bad. But like I said, you will never. Well, you even said, you'll never see anything of this level to where players had to come out of the clubhouse just to bat. I'm actually shocked they didn't just call the game with only 3 outs left. I'm shocked they didn't just call the game.
Bob Horner, a fan leapt onto Bob Horner trying to get to Champ Summer.
But still, I'm shocked they just didn't call the game because only 3 outs left.
Yeah, nowadays they probably would have, but
yeah,
that is just a bad situation all around.
You think? Think about it. Think about if Crazy got out with the bat.
So,
think of what he could have done.
So one of the many stars of this, we are talking about Bob Horner. He was a Rookie of the Year. Let's look up Ed Whitson here. Ed Whitson had a career from 1977 to 1991. He played with the Pirates, the Giants, Cleveland, the Padres, the Yankees, and then back with the Padres. And he was a one-time All-Star.
Champ Summers, Athletics,
Number one
Cubs.
in your hearts and your nightmares.
I know Champ Summers, Athletics, Cubs, Reds, Giants, Padres.
You know what we need to touch upon with Champ Summers? Because it's something that you would never see happen now. The dude got signed
playing
softball. How?
Yeah, you will never see that
never
now.
happen now.
Nope. Mm-mm. He got signed from playing softball.
And you know what? First pro game, he was almost 28. His last pro game, he was 38. He had a nice little career. I mean, you can't knock it for being signed just from playing softball.
No, but still, you're never going to see that ever again.
No, but
see scouts at a beer league softball game.
Man, that whole thing's it's so bad.
I'm surprised there was no serious injuries.
Right?
From the way they were going, I'm shocked with those pylons.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because guys were getting tackled, guys were leaping, they were falling on each other. It was nasty. It was nasty.
Nasty's an understatement. Yeah, it was something. But yeah, you'll never see that type of fight again. And I would love to know what John, Brad, or Brig would think. What would be if they would agree
if it isn't this, what do they think the worst?
Yeah, exactly. Because this was bad. I mean, this is the first time I saw this, and it was. Well, you saw my face. It was just in shock of holy crap.
I think you hit it on the head. When fans are arrested and the players can't even sit in the dugout, it's at a level of bad where it'd be hard to be worse.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm shocked they didn't call the game. Just because of that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is enough. We're just going to call it. But, yeah, that was bad. That was definitely a good one to talk about, too. That's for sure.
Yeah, highly recommend if after listening to this you want to check it out. Just Google or go on YouTube, search Braves, Padres, Brawl, or I can put the links in the episode description. Well worth checking out at least once.
Absolutely.
Probably the John Boy video is the one you want to go with.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Yes, absolutely. He has a nice little comic twist into it.
It needed it.
Right. So on that note, that'd be the end of the third. Oh.
Yeah. That's a good one. Let's wrap this up here real quick. You can catch me monthly on the Philly Baseball Together podcast with my co-host Tori. We actually recorded this week. I want to say it went up on Wednesday, maybe even Tuesday. I don't remember now. But we did about 40 minutes talking about the prior month, talking about the trades that were made for the Phils, how we think the rest of the season is going to play out. You can find the Philly Baseball Together podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and that is under the umbrella of the Baseball Together Network, which Brad and Brig are a part of. This coming week, I believe I'm going to be one of a few guests on Broken Kayfabe, which is hosted by Frankie Seacrest. It is the unofficial after show of, or I said Broken Kayfabe is the name of the show, but it is the after show of Breaking Kayfabe with Baldwin and Barry on the Arcadian Vanguard Network, which is a pretty popular pro wrestling podcast. So this is the after show of that, basically, is what I'm going to be on. A few of us are going to be on that. And you can find that wherever you get your podcast. It's going to come up as What's Up Wilmington, because it's under Frankie's old network from when he lived in Wilmington, North Carolina. Really super nice guy. I don't know if he's ever listened to this, but I'll give a quick shout out to him. He does something really cool. So with Breaking Kayfabe with Baldwin and Barry, it's Jeff Baldwin, who was a former writer for the Wrestling Observer, which is one of the most popular wrestling newsletters out there still to this day, since the 80s. And Barry Rose is as a pro wrestling historian. They're both from Florida, and they do biannual fan fest in Florida called the CWF Legends Fan Fest. Well, Frankie and his wife actually cover the airfare and hotel room and spending money for one person every fan fest.
Oh, wow.
And some further info about this. So it's named after one of the guys who was in my admin chat. His name was Joe Christie. Joe was only about a few years older than us. He passed away this past spring from a rare form of groin cancer. Super funny dude, really great guy. We all miss him in our admin chat. But it's now called the Joe Christie Scholarship Fund. So in honor of him, so now every fan fest, Frankie and his wife send someone in honor of Joe to the fan fest.
Nice.
Frankie's a really good dude. So I just wanted to throw his name out there just because he's a great guy.
Yeah, that sounds like something fun to do.
If I had the money to afford it, I would totally fly down and go, because it's just a big. I don't want to say it's a big party because that makes it sound a lot wilder than it is. It's a good time. I know a lot of the people that go, super awesome guys. The guy I was telling you about off the air who sent me the old fashioned Amish peanut butter spread. He's one of the guys. For the record, this shit's amazing. I sent you a link for it. It is fantastic. But his name's Michael. I know he goes all the time. It's like maybe 100 people go, but we're all in this one group together on Facebook. And it just looks like it's a lot of fun. But between airfare, hotel room, and the ticket for the fan fest, I just don't have that kind of money. So
nice.
It would be pretty fun to go to and meet a bunch of people who I've interacted with for years on Facebook, but it'll happen someday. But I just, again, wanted to give a shout out to Frankie because he's a really good dude. I believe the A show is on a current break, so I don't have a plug for that. But go back, listen to the archives of Matt and Chris's show, the A show. Matt's a great guy. Chris is another great guy. Really fun wrestling podcast. Trying to think here. Anything else I got to plug? I don't think I have anything off the top of my head because the Baseball Together one runs through the show and Fans Idea runs through the show. I got nothing else. So thanks for joining us for episode 52 of the None Other Sports Podcast. You can find us online through our Linktree link on in the show description. That'll take you to our Facebook, our website, our creator page for Teespring, which we got new shirts. I posted them on Facebook and on Twitter with the link. We got a Front Offices Kill Fan Bases shirt, and we got two NASPod NASCAR parody t-shirts, one in the classic NASCAR colors and one in the show colors. Both were inspired by friends of the show. The NASCAR one was suggested by Brandon, who won our beard care giveaway package, and the Front Office's Kill Fan Bases was from John, the Bobble Bro himself. So we listen to y'all. That's why we always say, send us a message, leave a comment. We listen. We make shirts based on your ideas.
And they're out there.
They are out there. $19.99, right?
Yep.
$19.99. You can't even get a tank of gas for $19.99, but you can get a NASPOD T-shirt. This is a horrible sales pitch. This is why I'm not Billy Mays. I might look like him, but I'm not him. The Not Another Sports Podcast is available for streaming or download at Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podcast Addict. Recently added Amazon Music and the TuneIn Radio app. So I think we're on at least like 20 different platforms at this point. If you get podcasts from there, you can find us. Please, again, don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, leave a message, leave a like, leave a comment. We will interact with you. We'll talk to you. We will actually listen to you. With that, I am Jason.
I'm David.
We will talk with you next time.
Have a good one.